You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph. Be Yourself, Part 2. Soren Kierkegaard once said, "And now, with God's help, I shall become myself." So the more that we put our lives into the hands of our Creator, who made us, the more that we can discover who we really are. And that's very logical when you come to think of it. So how do we discover who we really are? And I would suggest that we begin by assessing our gifts and abilities and take a good, long, honest look at what you're good at and what are some things that you're not so good at. The things that fill your tank, the things that empty your tank, if you like. And often it's good to get with trusted people who you can have a conversation with, because often we don't see things about ourselves that others do see. We have blind spots. Another way of doing this is to use one of the many tests or assessments that are available in finding out your strengths, finding out what you're really good at. There are many of these that are available and many that I have used over the years. But a wee bit of a warning here. When we do an assessment like this, we can emerge in a sort of a fixed position. In other words, this is who I am, this is who I'm not, therefore that's me for life, that's fixed. I have found that while there are some things in my life that I'm strong in, there are other things I wasn't strong in, but they became stronger. And so when the hand of God is involved in your life, the Holy Spirit, there can be changes that can come. And I remember doing a thing called love languages with my wife, and we were to find out what our love language was, from quality time, physical touch, giving of gifts, acts of service, words of affirmation. There were 5 of them apparently. When I was younger, physical touch was my one, and my wife was quality time. And over the years I've learnt to highly value quality time, and that has become stronger in my life. It emerged from, well, it's a waste of time talking about nothing, to there's great value in spending time with someone, even without goals and deadlines. There's a great assessment that we used to use years ago that is actually still available now, and it's based on Romans chapter 12. And there Paul lists 7 gifts which people have called motivational gifts. They are the sort of gifts that we're born with. It's the way we are right from the start. And they are prophet or perceiver, server, encourager, leader, teacher, giver, and mercy. Often a person will have one of these as a very strong motivational gift, and perhaps 1 or 2 others that are close to strong. And we used to have a bit of fun with a scenario where there is a birthday party and little Johnny is having his party, and there's a cake on the tablecloth, and then some kids are running around at the party, and amongst the guests that are there are the 7 gifts from Romans 12. Someone catches the tablecloth and the cake comes off the table, turns upside down and splats on the ground. And the question we have is, how will the 7 giftings in Romans 12 respond to this? So we start with the perceiver or the prophet. They're the sort of person that would probably frown a wee bit and say something like, "I knew that was going to happen," and then look at the possible punishment that could be meted out to the culprit. Then you have the server. The server automatically starts cleaning up, goes and finds a broom and shovel and everything like that, and tries to put things back in order. Then you have the teacher. The teacher will describe how it happened and how the tablecloth was a few inches longer than what it should have been, and the kid came round and collected it, and talks about the whole circumstances in detail. The leader might take charge and say, well, okay, this is a wee bit of a disaster, but let's have a game of touch rugby or a game of cricket in the backyard and divert people, and if the servant hasn't started, get someone to clean it up, and they just organise everything that's going on with their leadership gift. The exhorter will be chatting away and with encouragement and just talking about there's no problem here and we can get another cake, and he knew that this had happened somewhere else and he can bring in a story about it, etc., and make people feel better. The giver will quietly, they don't want to make a big fuss about this, but quietly go into the background, go and get another birthday cake, while the mercy, yes, you guessed it, would come over, not too many words, but would just embrace the person who's crying or the little boy who's crying, and just bring real empathy and mercy to that person. So that's how these giftings work, and they're available actually online. Gifttest.org. Gift test, all one word. God bless you today.